Grade 9. So let us do these two questions. We're still on graphs. Now, they are saying identify the values representing. So we're going to just write the values representing the gradient and the y-intercept, gradient, y-intercept from the equation. Here is our equation. I've written it in purple. The gradient. Now, I'm going to take you back to your roots. Take you back to your roots. Remember, our standard equation is y is equal to mx plus a c. This looks like that one, right? Can you see? So, as you see, m we said is our gradient. This is what you need to know. M represents the gradient. We also call it a slope. It is our slope, right? And c is constant. Constant. This is also our y-intercept. Intercept. This value of c, the constant, is our y-intercept. This is the value of y where the graph cuts the y-axis. The graph cuts the y-axis and it is an increasing graph. The gradient is positive. Y values, x values. On the y values, it cuts at -5. As you can see, it is increasing. It has a gradient of a 2. Right. This is our y-intercept, where the graph cuts the y-axis. X-intercept, where the graph cuts the x-axis. Right. Those are just basics explained in just shortly there. Right. So, if you understood what I just explained here, you already know that the gradient, increasing gradient, a positive gradient of what? Of a 2. As you can see, my graph is increasing. Y is equal to 2x minus 5. The constant represent our y-intercept. Y-intercept is this constant. You take it with the sign -5. Then you are done. So what you need to do, grade 9, go and revise this. Pause the video, listen again. You must know these things. My y is negative and it's below the graph because below y is negative, above is always positive. X on the right is always positive, but on the left it is always what? It is always negative. X horizontal shift, y vertical shift. Those are the things that you need to know. Now let us come to this question. Now here, given 3y is equal, given 3y plus 2x is equal to -6, calculate the x-intercept. Now the x-intercept is where the graph cuts at the x-axis. For example, this equation cuts here. We don't know where, but you can find it if you calculate it. So I'm going to show you on this equation. Right. So that is what we call x-intercept, where the graph cuts on the x-axis. Now, I am given 3y plus 2x is equal to -6. Now what I need you to know, let us use this example. I said before, everywhere on this line, on the x-axis, y is 0. This line we also call it y is equal to 0. This one we call it x is equal to 0 because x is 0 everywhere on this line. As you can see, this point is -5. No, it's 0. We start with x is to -5. X is 0 everywhere here. It's 0 on this origin, is 0 everywhere here. Now, we're going to use that fact. X-intercept, y is equal to 0. Okay? So if I want to find the point where the graph cuts the x-axis, y is 0. So I must substitute this y to 0 to find what is the value of x there. And the coordinate in terms of x is to y, my y would be 0. So I'm looking for what? I'm looking for x. Are you still following me? Right? X-intercept here, everywhere here, y is 0. So I'm going to use that fact. I'm going to go through this equation that they give me. Wherever I see y, I'm going to put 0 because it's x-intercept. When I'm looking for y-intercept, wherever I see 0 on the equation, I'm going to put a 0 where I see x to find the y-intercept. And check here. If I close it, 2 times 0 is negative 5. That is why our y-intercept is a negative 5. Grade 8, grade 9. I need your mind to be working now. Working very fast. Right? That is the very important concept when you are dealing with graphs. Even in grade 10, 11, and 12, you're going to deal with this thing. Looking for x-intercept, just on your equation, remove y, put x. For y-intercept, wherever you see x, remove x, put 0, then calculate for the value that you are looking for, which is y. Y-intercept, remove x, put 0. It's a vice versa. So now I'm looking for x-intercept. So wherever I see y, I'm putting 0. 3, there is y. I'm opening a bracket. I'm putting what? 0 for x-intercept. Plus, I'm looking for the value of x. That's why I'm bringing back x. Minus, is equal to negative 6. Please, grade 9. This is very important. If you are looking for x-intercept, y must be 0 on your equation. Then you're going to calculate for x, that value of x. In your coordinate, y is already 0. You already know that y is 0. That's why I wrote 0 there. Now I'm looking for what? For x. So I still follow it. Now what I need to do is to apply algebra now. We moved from graphs. Now we're on algebra. Just want you to focus on algebra, what we learned at the beginning. We are isolating the variable that we are looking for. Now it comes with a coefficient of 2. So I'm going to write 2x. What I'm looking for, I'm going to push it to the left as far as possible. Now this thing is 0. I can cancel it or ignore it. Is equal to negative 6. So I cannot transpose a 0. 3 times 0 is a 0. I'm multiplying 3 with nothing. I'm going to get nothing. Right. So I'm left with 2x is equal to negative 6. I'm still following that far. Right. Now, remember I'm looking for x and x value. I already know y is 0 when it's x-intercept. Right? I'm going to keep repeating that because it's very, very important. Now, to find x, what do? I'm applying the multiplication inverse. I'm going to divide with a 2 or multiply with a 1 over 2. That is multiplication inverse of a 2. It's 1 over 2. Whatever I do to the left now, I need to do it to the right so that my equation balances. Now this will cancel that. I'm going to be left with x only is equal to, what is negative 6 divided by 2 is a negative what? It's a negative 3. Dividing signs that are not the same, you take a negative. Same thing, multiplying signs that are not the same, you get a negative. So my x is 3. Am I done? No. They wanted the x-intercept. The x and the y-intercept, you write it in terms of a coordinate. Let me continue from here. I was looking for x. I already know what is y because x-intercept, y is 0. So I'm opening a bracket. My x, I already found x is a negative 3 is 2. I said we already have y. X-intercept, y is 0. It's going to be 0. Then I have found or calculated the x-intercept. The x-intercept, the graph, my graph, this equation, the graph of this equation will cut at x is equal to negative 3. For example, here will be negative 3. No, I can't write it here. So let us write it there. Negative 3, remember, is on the left. That's why I can't write it there. So the graph, is it increasing or decreasing? Ooh. It's going to be negative. So it's a decreasing graph. It's a decreasing graph. So it's going to cut here at negative 3 is to 0. Do you understand? Please understand these things as much as possible. Right. Let me explain something very quickly here. Something they may ask. So you understand this, please. If you don't understand it, you can pause the video and continue. I'm gonna just erase here. I want to explain something very quickly here. I just don't want to leave any stone unturned. That is all I'm trying to do. I want to explain each and everything. And these concepts that I'm explaining, they're going to assist you in grade 10. Grade 10 is very crucial. But I will be there with you. I'm going to explain some of the concepts and the problems that I understand or know. And I'm going to explain them in the best of my ability. Now, let's say grade 9, we are given this equation. Check. It is not written in terms of y is equal to mx plus c. Can you see that? Let's say now they give you this equation. They say find the gradient. Oh, what is the gradient of this equation? What you need to do first is to write this thing in terms of this standard equation, right? Now there is y, so I'm going to leave y on the left because y is the subject of the formula. So on the right, I already have -6, right? But now I want the equation. Remember, cx here is on the left. So I need to start by writing x. X is positive here. Once it moves to the side of 6, it's going to change the sign to -2x. Then I'm going to drop 6 because it's already on the right. It did not jump the equal sign. So I'm dropping -6. It's still fine, right? Now I'm looking for the gradient. Remember the question said look for gradient. This is the gradient. I'm going to show you how to spot the gradient again. Like here, it was a 2, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm trying to write it in terms of this equation. This one, y is equal to mx plus c. Then I can easily say a gradient is a 2, a gradient is 1/2, blah, 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 blah. Now, I still fine with this one. Okay, now I'm looking for y. Remember, this is only y. What I need to do, multiplication inverse. I divide by 3, but whatever I do to the left, I must do it to the right. Now, be careful here. You need to divide by a 3 to each term. Divide by a 3. Right? I'm still following. Cool. So, this will cancel that. We're going to have y is equal to. Be careful again. I'm going to write this as clean as possible. This is negative. Remember, x, this is a coefficient. It's before x. 2 all over 3. Then I'm going to write my x. I'm still following. So this is just -6/3. This is my coefficient. Right? This is my coefficient. This is my constant. This is my constant. This is y-intercept. This graph will cut at 0 is to -6/3. No matter what, this graph will cut here. Remember, this is y-intercept. Like we said here, this value stands for the y-intercept. This one, y-intercept, the constant. But this one, I'm interested in this one. The question was asking for this one. So m, the gradient, m is equal to negative, take it with a sign, 2 all over 3. What does that mean? Again, my gradient, so my graph is a decreasing graph because my gradient, the slope is negative. So it is a decreasing graph. So I'm going to keep drilling those concepts as much as possible, as many times as I can, so that you understand them. Pause the video, watch it again, pay attention to the most important things. Increasing, decreasing, gradient if it's negative, how is the slope? Is it an increasing or decreasing graph? Blah, 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 blah. Everything. You must understand it and be fluent with interpretation of the graphs. Know how to draw given the equation, know how to find the equation given the graph. You know, all those things, you need to know them so that you are ready for your exams. Thank you.